What's up, guys? I know that I haven't been on here reading in a long hot minute, and I have some reads to catch up on from Samhain, from yesterday, etc. So we're going to start with them first. So my reads from Samhain will be first right now. I created a new type of read for this evening on purpose, or for this weekend, let's say that, on purpose, because Samhain is one of those times when the veil is completely down. Samhain is one of those times where the ancestors go back and forth, where it's much easier for people to channel messages, for just all of the magic, right? Just all of the magic. It's easier. And with that, I thought, I want to create something that is truly unique for you guys. And I try to do this every Samhain. I really and truly do. Because just like everybody else, isn't that funny to say? Just like everybody else, you are extremely unique. You are extremely unique. And you deserve to have unique readings, correct? So I even pulled out 2 decks that I don't normally use. I haven't used these decks in a very long time. Now, I do use a version of this deck, which is the Threads of Fate Oracle. And this is the Shadow Edition. So you guys see me read a lot with the Ascendant Edition, which is the holographic edition. This is the Shadow Edition. And then I'm going to read with another Threads of Fate deck. This deck I rarely read with. I haven't read with this particular deck in probably... I'm actually trying to think. I don't even know how long it's been since I read with this deck. I am going to say at least 2 years. At least 2 years. This is the Empyrean. This deck is holographic. It is a phenomenal deck. It is a very powerful deck. It is a little tough to read with, I'm not going to lie. Just because sometimes you got to turn the cards a certain way to see them, to see what's inside of them. When I say that they're holographic, I mean the entirety, this is the back, the entirety of these cards, and this is the front. The entirety of these cards are holographic. So it can be a little hard to read with sometimes. That is the Dark Star card. It took me that long to read that on there. But they are absolutely phenomenal cards. I really, really do love them. So I'm going to read with them this evening. We're going to get them all right side up as they are supposed to be. Just make sure we're starting off on the right foot. We were not. There we go. The Veilwalker readings are not just your normal little everyday readings. They might be something that I offer again in the future on Yule, but there's only a few of them left for tonight, and then I probably won't be offering them again until Yule. And the way that I'm going to do these is a lot different than the way I normally do them. These are not a reading that you're going to get anywhere else. I need to make a new batch of my anointing oil. who is my first read of the evening? That would be Aiden. Aiden is first this evening. I also have a pack of paper that's smaller like this that I've done some sigils on. This paper is also anointed as well. So your birthday equals a 5, Aiden. I find it interesting that you chose the number 3 with the information, with the questions that I ask you, because there are, when you start adding up your birthday, when you start doing the numerology of it, there are 3 10s. And then that in turn equals 32, because there are 3 10s in the number 2, and that in turn equals 32. So I think that the repeating 3s, there are a lot of 9s in your birthday. The repeating 3s are very interesting to me, especially since you chose the number 3 as the one that I asked you to pick from on there. With these reads, they come with a couple of different things. Not just cards, not just numerology, but also some channeled messages and so on. For those of you guys that had a read for Solomon. Did I have these upside down? I sure as shit did. So we're going to turn those before I keep moving forward. These cards are a little happy to be out of the deck, I assume, because they won't stop. All right. You got it. These reads involve a little bit of a different thing. They involve a little bit of shadow, a little bit of reset, a little bit of all of the things that you need to know about what's going on with this time of year. We're just going to say it that way, with this time of year. So this is a shadow and renewal spread. There are 2 aspects of the shadow over here, the light aspect, the dark aspect. There is the renewal spread, and there is a part in the middle that has to do with whatever it is ancestrally that you need to know right now. So the fact that you picked the number 3, the fact that your birthday equals a 5, I took the normal aspects of numerology and I rewrote 1 through 9 plus the master numbers 11, 22, and 33. I rewrote those in the format for this reading right here. So when I tell you what the numerology of your name means before I ever turn over these cards, know that this is my take for these readings for the numerology of your birthday. So Aiden's numerology equals the number 5. And I haven't turned any of these cards over except for the one that flipped over on its own up there. So we're going to talk about what the number 5 means numerologically for this reading first. And the number 5 is the catalyst of change. People that are a number 5, when it comes to how they walk in shadow and how they walk with the veil and across the veil and back and forth and so on. They crave freedom. They also crave chaos. They need something to make them go through a transformation. Freedom, chaos, transformation. 5 brings in the storm. 5 is the shadow. 5 manifests as recklessness, sometimes as avoidance of accountability sometimes, but they also go through this intense transformation as they continue to do these old patterns and see that these old patterns no longer work. So when those old patterns no longer work, they cut those off very cleanly. When someone that has the birth path of a number 5 comes across their own shadow, it becomes very liberating for them. Their shadow tends to hide, even though they are the storm, even though they are the shadow, their shadow tends to hide. So when they come across their shadow, they suddenly become very, very liberating. So the lessons that those that have the life path of the number 5 have to deal with are escapism and inconsistency. But their key to renewal is embracing that chaos, that sacred transformation, that sacred chaos as an alchemical aspect of how to move themselves forward and change. And so now we're going to read for Aiden. I'm going to start turning these cards over and so on. I got to get back to where I was on here. I'm going to start turning these cards over and so on. The first 2 cards up here, this is the shadow, okay? The first card already turned itself over, and this is the Earth card, and I'll try to move it where you guys can see it all. And then you also have Release, and it's funny because this was upside down because I had my deck upside down to begin with, but this is the Release card. I know that sometimes we have this really big problem with letting go of the things that we know we do over and over and over again. And it's funny because of this number 5 and what I just read about that. Releasing those old patterns for some reason right now is almost impossible for you. Instead of like before when you say, oh shit, man, I have done this 4 times in a row now. Maybe I shouldn't do it again. This time it's like 10, 12, 11 times in a row. You keep doing the same thing over and over and over. You know it's bad. You know it's a bad habit, and yet you keep doing it. And the more you ground and the more you protect and the more you try to do all of the things that had been helping you in the past, the harder it is to release that shadow aspect of you. Because of that, you've been feeling like you're stuck. You've been feeling like you're vomiting information. That's specifically the words I heard. Vomiting information to people that don't deserve it. Because of this being stuck, because of all of these aspects of you not being able to cut off these negative habits that you just keep doing, situations you keep being a part of, etc. You can't release all of that smoke that you're keeping inside there, all of that shadowy aspect of you. This one is the ebb card. I'll try to move it all around so y'all can see it. And notice that it has ebb on both sides. So no matter which way you turn it, it's both upside down and right side up. And then you have the Explorer. This is the light down here. This is the light. Because you embrace that sacred chaos all the time, because you need that transformation, that chaos, that movement, that release, you also are just natural at exploring new things, whether it be a new way of thinking or a new trail out at, off a mountain or something. You are that one that you always need new experiences, new shifting, new changing, new. You always need new things. You crave the chaos. So when your shadow is bound up because it can't release the things it normally releases, then that explorer part of you is bound up as well. Because just like, the ebb and flow of the light and the dark, if one is bound up, the other one overcompensates, which binds it up as well. And that's what's going on. So instead of your light being bound up and drowned out like this, it's overcompensating for that shadow. Where that shadow has been pulled in like this, the light, instead of being like this, is overcompensating. So how does that bound you up when that is overcompensating? Because now you're bound up in this constantly doing new things in the same old way. Does that make sense? You're continually looking for new things to the point that you can't settle down into any other thing because you're constantly having to find something new to do. So you're exhausted in every single way possible, physically, emotionally, mentally, etc. You are absolutely exhausted. I would bet that over this last weekend, especially with this new full moon energy coming up, you've probably had a few moments where you wanted to just completely crash out. You wanted to just obliterate the world around you, but you can't. You couldn't. I don't know why, as I'm saying that, I'm seeing roses. And I feel like I need to say seeing roses like that. I don't understand what that means, but hopefully you do. And these are like these very dusty pink, beautiful roses. I saw them like this, closed up, and then I saw them wide open at the same time. One of the problems that comes with being bound up in any way is that it's also really hard for us to hear ancestral messages. It's hard for us to hear spirit guides, anything. But in this particular instance, it's an ancestral message that is trying to come through over and over and over and over and over. See? Confirmation. So I want to look at this middle right here because this is the Discovery card. And underneath that you have the Define card. Ancestrally, it's so funny. There was a lady here first, and now it seems to be a lady and two men that are here. That they don't want you to stop the exploring aspect. They don't want you to stop the chaos aspect. They don't want you to think that you have to sit down. They don't want you to think that you have to just stop and take a back seat and let other people move forward, because that's not the case. The way that you allow yourself to release these bad habits or the things that have been going on over and over and over that you can't shake, the way that you are able to get rid of those things is to start defining what it is you want to discover. Because when you define what it is you want to discover as you're looking for this new thing, a new job, a new friendship, a new relationship, a new car, a new, exploring a trailhead or whatever, when you define what it is that you want to look for, and you don't have to define it in, I am looking for my soulmate and they look like this. You don't have to define it like that. But you need to define, let's say you're going out on a hike, you need to define, I'm going to step out onto this new trailhead and see, the thing I want to discover is a new point of view. That sounds really broad, right? But you're giving yourself a definition. Because a new point of view could be finding a place in the path that has this amazing view where you can take photos and just sit and think for a minute. Or it could be that you discover a new point of view by allowing your mind to be open to a new point of view while you're walking. You don't have to define things in that I am going to see a new variety of chipmunk on this walk. You don't have to do it in such a teeny tiny way. Do it in a broad way. So when you're defining what it is that you're wanting to discover, that suddenly allows you to release yourself from trying to just sit and do the same thing over and over and over and over. Because when you sit and you're trying to do the same thing over and over, it's making your shadow shrink a little bit because it's too grounded, it's too stuck, it's too hard. And then that light part is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And then you can't go anywhere or do anything because you're overwhelmed. Whoever the lady is that the roses represent, it's like she shows them to me like this, like she's showing them for you to be happy. Does that make sense? Like that grandma that always wants to give you something that, you know, or feed you or something, just do something for you. This is her way of like, here is this flower, here is this rose. You chose the number 3 out of those things, or out of the numbers that I ask you to pick from. And the number 3 is the voice of creation. It's expression, it's communication, it's manifestation. And the shadow aspect of the number 3 speaks through confusion and self-doubt, imposter syndrome. And the veil invites in silence, because you can't hear or see the ancestors if you just keep on having issues. If you can't hear or see the ancestors, if you can't be silent. And when I said having issues, I meant that we all have issues. We all have issues with our brains being way too loud. So if you're having an issue that is keeping your brain being way, way, way too loud, let me go ahead and pause. Apparently I did not make this clear during the first part of this live stream, but there are rules in my live streams. I can see every comment. I can see every one of you that says something. This is not the time or the place to be stupid. This is not the time or the place to be funny. This is not the time or the place for you to interject some shitty comment in. This is not the time or the place for you to co-read. This is not the time or the place for you to discuss politics. This is not the time or the place for you to come in and try to disrupt someone else's reading. That is so rude. My eye twitching. That is so rude. For those of you guys that feel like it's cool for you to come in and try to disrupt someone's reading, that is their time and that is their money, and that is blatant disrespect. It is my time and my money, and it is blatant disrespect. So all I am going to say is this. May everyone else disrupt every other thing you do, so that you are cost time and money. May everyone else in your path from here on forward decide that they're going to disrupt everything you do. And may it always cost you time, and may it always cost you money. And when you are ready to come back and apologize for interrupting everything, then I will be happy to take that back. But until then, words matter. And every time someone wastes your time or costs you money, I would like you to remember my face, and I would like you to remember that you decided that this was the moment that you wanted to be creepy, and that you wanted to be funny, and that you wanted to do that weird ass thing that you just did to interrupt Aiden and myself. Enjoy your life. 3 acts in silence. It is the power that comes before the words. It is the power that comes before anything else. This is where creation starts to be born again. So the aspect of the number 3 that you chose is all about speaking your authentic light after that silence and shadow. So where I said you need to define what it is that you're trying to discover every time you try to do something new. And notice I said try to do something new. Is that helps you speak an authentic light into that new thing. You can't make this shit up. This is the creation card. This is the renewal part. You can't make this shit up that this is the creation card. And I just said that 3 is the voice of creation and that you have multiple 3s and aspects of 3 in your birthday. And then you have the self-love card upside down, and I find that interesting. When it comes to self-love, everybody needs to practice it. But there comes a point when it overwhelms and it gets you out of balance. And I'm just gonna liken it to this. The way that me personally that I like to sit and think is either outside on my back porch or in a hot bath. I'll go sit in a hot bath. If I catch myself in a hot bath more than once in a day, why? Why am I doing that more than once in a day? When I'm going through really, really hard times, I tend to pull into myself and treat that as self-love. Does that make sense? And so I have a feeling that that's what you're doing, is pulling into yourself and saying, well, I'm having a self-care day. I'm having a self-love day. This is for me. This is for me. But you can do it too much, and then everything gets completely out of whack like this. And when everything gets out of whack like that, you feel like you need to do it more, but that's not the case. The case is that it's time to knuckle down and go into full-on creation mode for Aiden and for what Aiden is doing. And the lady's handing me the roses again. What's really interesting about these cards and about the reading for you, Aiden, is that I think that you put way too much pressure on you when it comes to defining stuff, putting things into words. It's like overthinking on steroids. When you have to put something into words, instead of just finding words for it, instead of just saying, my hair is blue, you are trying to find the exact perfect right shade to figure out, okay, so it's blonde, and then it goes to this shade of blue, and then this shade of blue, and then this shade of blue, and this shade of blue. And sometimes it's just, you're trying to overthink things to the point that you stop. And it's time for you to get back to that movement again. It's time for you to define what it is that you're looking for when it comes to your discovery and moving forward. It's time for you to decide what Aiden wants in this moment right now. And that's what I'm going to say to start with. This is kind of what I'm going to leave you with, because I know that sometimes it's really hard to figure out, okay, well, where do I start? How do I do that? You know, what do I do? What do I do? You guys, we put too much pressure on ourselves when it comes to change and when it comes to moving forward and so on and so forth. All you really have to do is start with one moment at a time. What do you want right now in this moment? And don't say world peace. And don't say $10 million. Right now in this moment, what would make you happy? Right now, an ice cream cone would make me happy. Can I go get an ice cream cone right now? No. Can I go get something else right now? Yes. Do you see what I mean? Start with right now, in this very moment. What would make you happy? Are your feet cold? Do you need some socks? Is your favorite show about to come on and you just want to turn it up a little louder? Do you see what I mean? Do you see what I mean? Y'all are thinking too broad. I'm watching the comments. Y'all are thinking way too broad. Right now, in this moment, right here, right now. Physically, emotionally. Do you just need a hug? Would you like to go buy a new plant? Would you like to just sit and pet your dog for 2 more minutes? Do you see what I mean? Think about, in this moment right now, what thing would make you happy? Right now in this moment. I'm not talking big, massive things that would change your entire world. I'm not talking big, massive things that would change everybody's world. I'm not talking about any of that. I'm talking right now, selfishly. What would make you happy? When you start thinking about that, it becomes so much easier to focus on the big things. Because if you are only focusing on the main big thing, let's say, I've seen a couple of people that have come across my For You page that want to move out of the country. And I think that's a noble thing to want. A noble thing to aspire to do. But instead of putting a plan in place, and instead of writing down all the little goals that will get them to the bigger goal of moving out of the country, they're just trudging forward and trying to just save up some money. And that's not ever going to work out. So what's the first little teeny tiny thing that you can do? Set up a special savings account. Start to get your passport. Make a budget. Do you see what I mean? All of these little bitty teeny tiny things. But we don't think about that. We just think about the big problem overall. And Aiden, I think that is what's going on, that you think about the big problem overall and you don't think about all of the little bitty teeny tiny things that get you to that point. Go get an ice cream. Go get a cookie. Go spoil yourself just a little bitty teeny tiny thing. Just a teeny tiny bit. And just from my own personal experience, and we talked about this a little bit last night on my live stream, spoil yourself. Doesn't have to be every moment of every single day. You don't got to go spend your rent money on a new pair of boots. You don't got to buy a car you can't afford. But you sure as shit can feed yourself a nice dinner or a nice lunch. You sure as shit can buy yourself a cupcake. You sure as shit can buy yourself your favorite little guilty pleasure treat. Right? Doesn't have to be crazy expensive. I mean, I am good with a mini Snickers. I'm just saying. I feel like I'm cheating the beatus when I have a mini Snickers. So Aiden, I want you to think about that. Define what it is that you want to discover. Even if it's just something as simple as, I want a new outlook on life. I want an ice cream. I will say, if my sugar keeps going down any further, y'all are going to get to see me eat some ice cream. I got some mochi ice cream in there, and one of them is cookie dough. And I am not sorry about it. I got some when Brody was in town and Kirsten was here, and they both like mochi ice cream. Y'all have never had mochi ice cream? You totally should. You totally should. The one thing I do want to say, Aiden, before I kind of close this out a little bit. I don't know if you have Latin ancestry or what. I continually am seeing different things that I associate with Latin practices. Red and white twirling skirts with flowers on them. White tops. Things like that. Lots of candles. Old Spanish missions, etc. I don't know what that means to you, but I keep seeing it the entire time that I'm reading for you. And when the lady is handing the rose like this, I keep seeing that as well. Oh, is that you over there, Aiden? You do on your mom's side from Mexico? I keep seeing it. I keep seeing specifically the lady with the dark hair pulled up on top of her head, the white off the shoulder, blouse red skirt with the big red, like poofy flowers on the bottom. Like at a festival in the middle of the square dancing with all the other ladies. I keep seeing her. I don't know who that is or if you recognize that, but that, in my opinion, would be your sign to get back to some of your ancestry and get back in touch with your ancestry. It's kind of funny. We get lost a little bit with our own ancestry. Don't think that I don't do it too. I do it, you do it, we all do it. I scream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream, right? We all do it. So when you realize that you're moving away from ancestral things, ancestral patterns, or things that you were taught to do as a kid and so on and so forth, don't beat yourself up. Like, there is absolutely no reason for you to beat yourself up. When you realize it, just get back to it. Sounds like you need to chat with Scarly. I would agree. Scarly is the resident expert on all things with Santeria, Brujeria, all of those practices and so on. She is our resident Latin expert. Those of you guys that don't know, Scarly is Mexican. So, yeah, she is our resident resident expert. All right. Amy Henniger is next on my list. And she does make amazing earrings. She does make amazing earrings. She's fixing to release some new products as well. And I will be releasing some specialty products. They will not be released until Black Friday. I'm in the middle of making everything up. But they are very, very special things. You are so welcome, Aiden, honey. All right. Amy is next. Interesting. So your birthday actually equals 33, which is a master number. And you chose the number 3. Don't think I didn't pay attention to that. For those of you guys that missed this round of Veilwalker reads, I will put them up again. I don't know if I'll do it for the... I don't know if the camera caught that, but that was really interesting. That was really interesting. I don't know if the camera caught that. I'm trying to hold the cards up when I shuffle them enough that you guys see everything, but that was interesting. So like I said, I don't know what you guys caught or didn't catch with that, but all right then, that was okay. Shuffling that card, and it hit this thumb and then hit this finger and did this little weird dance thing and went sliding over there. So that was interesting. One thing about this deck, if you guys, I don't even know if they make this one anymore, the Empyrean deck. It weighs twice as much as a regular deck does. It weighs, I'm serious, like the heft of it. It weighs, it's heavy. It's a hefty deck. So I was so surprised that so many of them jumped out with Aiden's read. That was interesting. All right. Let's see here. So let's talk about the number 33, because your birthday equals 33. With the numerology that I did for these readings specifically, 33 is the sacred flame. This is compassion, it's teaching, it's transmutation, it's an interesting master number. And the shadow aspect of the number 33 bears the weight of collective pain. You forget the joy of a situation because you're so eager to have that transmutation of that collective pain. A lot of times, people that are natural healers don't realize that they take on so much from everybody, not just the people they care about, but literally everybody. And so when that happens, you tend to forget the joy in any situation. You usually find that renewal after you've had your time of mourning for whatever this is that you pulled from other people. You have to laugh about it. You have to have a very dark sense of humor. And after you've made those very dark, probably more than likely inappropriate jokes about the situation, then you can finally start to move forward. The other way that you are able to renew yourself is to nourish you with some type of service, some type of help, some type of service that allows you to both help other people and nourish yourself as well. So for you, the act of helping other people helps you in here. So some of the shadow lessons of the number 33 is martyrdom. Putting yourself in front of other people, to take the arrow for them, because you can't say bullat. To take the arrow for them. You want to take the pain for them. You want to take all of that stuff in for them. The other thing is fatigue, because you take so much in from everybody else. You are constantly fatigued, and then having this loss of happiness makes you feel disconnected. What I think is interesting is healing through love that includes something for you as well. Doing something healing wise. You know, for you, I would bet that one of the things you love the most about the holidays is getting everybody together and giving gifts. And your joy is watching them open the gifts. Watching them open the things that you took so long to find for them and wrap for them and so on, and all of the food that you make for them and watching them enjoy it. You're doing something for them, but selfishly it's for you too, because you like seeing them happy. So healing through love that includes the self is a big thing for you. I'm also going to read you the one for the number 6, because even though you have a master number, 3 and 3 equals 6, and what I find really interesting about this is 6 is the healer of the hearth. And I'm not going to go through it in a big, long way like I did the number 33, but just know that 6 is all about over responsibility. It's all about compassion and service and nurturing and lighting that hearth from within. And it also has the shadow aspect of perfectionism and martyrdom and so on. So let's talk about these cards right here. Let's talk about these cards right here. The shadow card, the first shadow card I pulled for you is Oblivion. I have to move these around constantly so you guys can see every bit of it. And then you have the Sage. And I find that to be a very interesting pairing. You end up working yourself into oblivion right now in service to other people. And I know that, you know, we talked about with the number 33 and the number 6 that you want to be in service to other people because that's what makes you happy. But the problem is that you work yourself into oblivion because you are continually being the guide, the light for everybody else around you, especially those people that you love. There's nothing wrong with that, but the problem comes in when they begin to rely on it more than they rely on themselves. And when they rely on it more, then they're not doing the things for themselves that they need to do. So instead of you just being the sage, being the healer, being the one that gives that perfect mom or spouse advice or friend advice or aunt or grandma, and instead of you being the one that gives the perfect advice, you're the one that's giving the advice and then doing the thing. And so remember we talked about that fatigue. Then you get into this whole aspect of working yourself into oblivion. The light card starts with Earth. And then you actually have two cards. The one on the top is Get Creative. And then Reflect. You have an amazing creative streak in you that is the light. That is also how you give the light to other people. You being able to ground and you being able to get creative and reflect that light out into the world via something creative is what you use to balance that shadow aspect out. I feel like there's been a lot of things here lately. I also just got sidetracked for a minute because you picked the number 3. Your birthday is a master number 33. And I just realized that there are 3 cards in the light and 3 cards in this ancestral message. And then 2 and 2. But I digress. I don't feel like you're really out of balance lately. I really don't. I think that you're actually more in balance right now than you've ever been, but you don't feel like it because you have been out of balance for so long. And I would be willing to bet that you have had all of these moments with yourself where you have had the talk of like, you know what? I can't continue to do this anymore. I can't continue to walk this path anymore or walk that path anymore. I can't continue to do all of these things. Because kind of what I'm hearing in my head as I'm going through the shadow and the light aspects right here is that you have set the boundaries. You have put those things in place. You have put up the fences. You have put up the walls. And so now you're more in balance than you've been in a very, very long time, but you feel like you're out of balance. So you've been having those things where you're sitting here saying, maybe I should step in and do that again. Or maybe, you know, they really can't do that by themselves and they're not going to figure it out and let me step in and do it again. You're having all of these interesting things going on through your brain where you're trying to talk yourself into overload again. When you don't need to. When you don't need to. I'm supposed to tell you to just stop and pause and plant your feet for a minute. Don't move forward and do stuff for everybody else yet. And don't go create anything new yet. Just stop and plant your feet for a moment. It's like, you know, in all the movies where the outlaws are trying to move through the forest and they're trying to skirt some, you know, ambush or whatever, and somebody says, you know, they just, hey, stop, let's just stop. And they just stop and they just plant their feet for a minute and they just look around and listen. I feel like that's what needs to happen, Amy. That you need to just stop and plant your feet and look around for a little bit. I think that that right there is going to show you that you've been more in balance than you realize. I do love how pretty this card is. I'm going to try to show you how pretty this card is. This is the flow that was on the top. And then you have the portal card, which is very interesting as well. Just move it all around. Then you have the thread card. What caught me was, and let me pull this back up where I can see how I'm showing you guys on camera here. See if I can show you. See how it's got a circle in the middle? It's a very, very shiny card, so it's very, very reflective. But see how it's got a circle in the middle? So does the portal card. And so does the flow card. Can you see it? See if I can lean it back where you can see it. You can start to see it there. Flow, portal, and thread. Amy, I think that with you in particular, there's a lot of things ancestrally that you need to look at as far as astral travel goes. There are so many interesting things as far as astral travel goes when it comes to you. There are areas of the astral, and this is for all of you guys. Thank you for all the gifts there. This is for all of you guys. There are areas of the astral where your ancestors are. It's easier for them to come and speak to you. It's easier for them to chit-chat. It's easier for them to give you the messages. So, you know those times when you have dreams about people that have passed away? And they're there in your dream, and everything feels surreal. Like you can see the colors brighter. You can smell things. You can feel things underneath your hands when you touch a chair or you touch a sweater or whatever. You can feel more. That's a part of the astral that touches the dream world a little bit. Don't watch me on. That touches the dream world a little bit. So when that happens, you are actually speaking to those ancestors. And I have a feeling that this has been happening for you more and more lately. Whether it's actually seeing them or just feeling like you're waiting for them to be there, waking up with them on your mind, etc. I think that you've been visiting this area of where these two realms collide repeatedly lately. And for some reason, I keep seeing in my head that old school little wrought iron table and chairs. There's like, y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. It's a little wrought iron table, and it always has two chairs with it. And it's just a small table. It's not a huge one. It's just a small table. I keep seeing that, and I don't know why they're yellow. They're bright, bright yellow. But I feel like somebody is waiting for you, and for some reason, when you get there, you can't see or hear them. You have been having a lot of those lately and wondering. Do you understand what do you know what I mean when I'm talking about this, these chairs and these tables, and why it's yellow? I feel like almost everybody's grandparents had a set of these back in the day. Okay, so you understand the chair and the table. Okay, good. The thing that I want to say is that wherever this place is, this isn't like these things are just sitting there in pitch black. This is like bright sunny yard with the trees and the birds and the flowers, and it's almost like a garden, but not some super well manicured awesome garden. But my advice is going to be this. The full moon's coming up in a couple of days. On purpose, go there. They're usually sitting, but it's bright. So you know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay. On purpose, go there. On purpose, go there. Think about it before you go to sleep. Start doing it tonight. Think about it before you go to sleep. Go there on purpose. Go there on purpose. Because I think that it will make a massive, massive difference. And I think that you going there on purpose with the intent that, all right, I am here, I'm open, I can see and hear you, etc. I think that you'll have much better communication. I almost said luck, but much better communication. Much better communication. There's a lady and a man waiting for you, yes? I feel like they're married. Because he's standing behind her with his hands on her shoulders. And she has that big, your parents, okay. Does she have high cheekbones? Like when she smiles, she has these, like, it's almost kind of like me. Like her eyes disappear when she smiles, the cheekbones, she has the big high cheekbones, yes? Like she has the really pretty, I love the laugh lines, I do. She has the big, yes, okay. Because I keep seeing that, the big, huge smile with her. They're both dressed in white. She has on a white blouse and he has on a white shirt. And I can't really see his face, so I don't think that it's really him you're needing to speak to. But let me say this. I don't think when you get there, you're going to actually see them speak. I think that this is all going to be clairaudient of you. They're always in white. Okay, so you understood that when I said they're in white. Okay. All right, good. So that was confirmation that you are seeing who you're seeing. Okay. I think that she wants to show you something. I think that she is wanting to show you either how to get there easier, how to get other places in the astral. I think that she is wanting to show you, she wants to show you something there. And I am going to say this. You are perfectly safe with the pair of them. I have a feeling that she's, correct me if I'm wrong, but I have a feeling that she's a little ornery and that she has been probably exploring where she shouldn't be. But she also has made friends with like everybody. I don't know if she was that lady that would talk to everybody when she was alive, but she has made friends with like everybody. And I feel like some of this is showing her daughter off, and some of this is introducing you to the beings over there, so that way you have an easier time traveling. Like, I really, everyone loved her. Okay, so you knew exactly what I was saying when I'm like, she's talking to everybody. Like I said, part of this, it's going to be under the guise of showing her daughter off to everybody, but this is actually, hey, this place is safe, this place is not safe, this guy is safe, this lady is safe, this whatever is safe, this is not safe. Like, I think she feels like she needs to show you this. And because of that, I feel like this, the flow, the portal, and the thread right here, I feel like the reason you feel everything is out of balance in your life here is because it's not. It's actually in balance. But over there is an imbalance, and you need to learn how to fix it over there, if that makes sense. I will say that that is a very powerful guide to have over there. Somebody that cares for you in that fashion. Somebody that cares for you in a way that, you know, they were your protectors. They are your protectors. They took on that role. So for those to be the people that want to show you, I'm just saying, does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Look, y'all aren't seeing me. Yawn. I want to look at this release aspect first, because the Get Wild card is the one that flipped and did the little dance on my finger, and it's upside down. And of course, this has a circle on it, because why wouldn't it have a circle on it? This is the creation card, and let me see if I can get it to show you guys. It is very, very shiny. There we go. See the circle? You're going to have to approach your life right now, like the physical waking world life right now, with a very, very logical way of looking at things. You're going to have to approach everything in a very logical way of looking at everything. Don't look at your physical life in a very woo-woo way. Don't look at it in a spiritual way right now, in a very, very logical way. And when it comes to visiting with your parents, when it comes to your mom showing you off and showing you some things, I want you to look at that in a very logical way too. I have a feeling that you and your mom were able to communicate in a way that some people aren't able to communicate. Like, either she had a certain look she could give you, or a wink, or mannerisms, or something. Like, the two of you had a level of communication that is beyond just this. Look at that in a very, very logical way when you're over there. She's trying to teach you, and she's trying to impart some knowledge to you. And I get the feeling that she's trying to do this before she can't anymore. And I don't know what that means, but that is the feeling I get from her. It's not a rush, like she has to do it right now this week, but there's an urgency to it. Does that make sense? I will say, just from what I do, there are a lot of changes in the astral lately. A lot. So look at things in a very logical way going forward, Amy. Know that all of the things in your physical life are way more balanced out right now than you realize. I'm proud of you for that. I've been reading for you for a while now, and I am really proud of you for that, because I know the effort that it took for you to get things into balance. You just don't see that it's balanced yet. But I'm just saying. Does that make sense? What is the Schumann doing? I see the comment over there. What is the Schumann doing? I feel like my eyeballs are going to fall out of my head. I know that it's been absolutely insanity lately. Oh, we're going through, we got another crazy patch coming up. Is that what's up? Looks like it's starting another crazy patch. I don't want to do another crazy patch on the Schumann. I don't. I'm done. I'm done. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it anymore. Aw, thank you, Amy. I looked up just in time to see that. I am going to put these cards up, get on to the next one. But I have to go get some ice cream first. So I'm going to leave you guys unattended for just a minute because my sugar is doing that thing. So I'm going to leave you guys unattended for just a moment. And I will be right back if I can traverse the tiny dogs in the floor over here. You're okay. You guys don't have to get up. You guys don't have to get up. Mochi achieved. Mochi achieved. Mochi achieved. I know that the outside is like rice. I don't know. I don't know. Don't quote me. I don't know. So good. It's so good. If y'all have never tried mochi ice cream, I'm not a fan of matcha. I know, don't come for me. Don't come for me. Now, I do love the green tea, but not the matcha. And this one is cookie dough. I like it a lot. Mm-hmm. My kid loves matcha, so she's got a pack of matcha in there. We also have cookies and cream. I haven't tried one of those yet. I bought these for me, the cookie dough. I do also really, really like the chocolate ones. What was the other one I had? It was like lemon mango or something. I had it in California. That was phenomenal. That is one thing I love about traveling, is trying different food. I'm just saying. Y'all do have the good stuff out there in California. Well, I say that. I have found good stuff everywhere. But I didn't try, the first time I tried mochi ice cream was in California. The first time I tried a Venezuelan dish called arepas. Oh, y'all have heard me talk about those before. There's a Venezuelan restaurant here in Tulsa, and I need to get some. The first time I tried that Venezuelan dish was in California at the mall. Like, oh my god, I went to the mall. I have food. Ice cream in Scotland is rich and super creamy. Oh. So what I just heard you say, Lady Rose, is that we all need to go to Scotland and have ice cream. An ice cream play date in Scotland. That sounds terrible. That sounds terrible. Sign me up. I'll take one for the team. See? We're all up for a trip to Scotland. We're going to come to your house. Be ready. Are you in Scotland, Lady Rose? My nose rings itching. We're all going to come camp out on your yard. Road trip to Scotland. See? See? And Alex is in Germany, so Alex, you can just pop right on up and come on. When's your birthday, Mike? I didn't get to go to Epcot when I was there. Oh, this month? Oh, I would love to. I can't. I thought you meant like a month or two down the road. That's a little different. For right now, have to pick you up in Canada. We can do that. We can do that, Lady Rose. We can do that. We can do that. We just need to rent out an entire plane. We just need to rent out an entire plane. Yeah, right now, until baby comes, we're on baby watch. Yeah. I have not, y'all check this out. I have not gotten to go to Disney since I was 16. So like 32 years. 32 years. 32 years. I need to go to Disney and I need to go to Universal. I need to go to Harry Potter Land. I need to go to Hogwarts. I need Slytherin robes. I need these things in my life. So what I'm seeing in the comments is that we need to plan a Disney trip. Like that's what I'm seeing in the comments. That's what I'm seeing in the comments. I'm just gonna let you guys know right now. My goal tonight is to get through those first 4 for Samhain, and I may finish the other ones up tomorrow. I earlier was, all right. So how many? I want to know what houses you guys are. I want to know what houses you guys are. I see y'all representing over there with the Hufflepuffs and the thing. I want to know. Ravenclaw. A lot of Ravenclaw. Look at the Ravenclaw. There's my Slytherin gang. There's my Slytherin gang. There's the Gryffindor. I'm surprised. Hufflepunk. It took a minute for some Gryffindors to come out. Slytherin gang. Yeah. Oh, Slytherin Scorpio. That's funny. Ravenclaw is wit and learning, of course, we're here. Took forever. We just spell checked it off by you. There's some more Gryffindors. There's a Hufflepuff. There's Scarlet, you're a Hufflepuff? It's so funny. Both Allie and Brody are Gryffindors. Kirsten's a Hufflepuff, I think. Yeah, they were making fun of me because I'm a Slytherin. I have even tried to get a different answer, and I'm still a fucking Slytherin. Which is fine, because I look good in green. So I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Y'all, I realize we're gonna chat for just a minute till the sugar starts to come back up a little bit. I realize that I have a severe problem with coffee mugs, and I'm not mad about it. I got a new one. This is a back on my bullshit coffee mug that I got at Spencer's over the weekend. Well, not over the weekend, last week. But look, it's pink. It's pink and gold. It's pink and gold. You're saying. Oh, so some of you guys also tried to get different ones. I would bet somebody has already assigned elements to the houses. That's what I want to do, Mike, is go get my wand. I want to go get my wand. And just for the experience of getting it there. Like, that's what I want, is just to go get my wand there. I have wands from... well, I was going to say all over the world, but I need one from Australia and I need one from Europe. I have one from Japan. I have 3 from Scotland. And then I have one from Mexico. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I love that you have a Draco Malfoy wand that's signed by him. I love that. I love that. All right, no more coffee. I have drank all my coffee. I am now down to 2 drinks. We are hitting almost normal level, then that's not good. All right. Well, I mean, I finished 1. I had 4 and I finished 2 of them, so I'm down to 2 now. I'm down to 2 now. So there's that. He got jittery when I signed it, like I do with aura drawings. Aww. Oh. Yeah, it's weird signing your own name on shit. It's weird. I mean, it's cool. Don't think it's not. But yeah, it's a little weird. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. There we go. I had to adjust some things there. For some reason, I can't see the YouTube chat. I can't see the YouTube chat. I could a while ago, and now it's gone. So that's fun. That's fun. Cups or mugs, like actual coffee mugs. Every time I go somewhere, I get a coffee mug. These oversized ones are my favorite. Just saying. All right. All right. I should focus. I should focus. I feel like the sugar is going back up and up and up. All right. So we got Miss Amy. Let's see here. What's going on here? So I have Rose and I have Jade. So we're going to do Rose first. All right, Rose. Oh, there's Rose! For those of you guys that are... What is going on? There we are. I don't know what just happened there. For those of you guys that are gamer fans, I've been feeling the need to play World of Warcraft again. I'm just saying. So with Igor coming in and Igor being a gaming setup. Did y'all know that there's a new expansion for World of Warcraft coming out on 11/11? All right. Let me focus on Rose. Oh, and it's all about the void. You guys didn't know I was a gamer. Back in the day, I started playing World of Warcraft. I think it had been out like 2 months when I started playing it. And then I started playing it because I had someone hire me to play it. So I actually played it for a living. I got paid to play it. And I ran one of the first all-female sponsored gaming teams until I was given an ultimatum. Let that sink in. So there's no telling where I would be right now as far as gaming goes. So, all right. Oh shit. I'm so glad that I just jacked that up. Oh, alright. So you're an 8. I find that interesting. You're an 8 and you chose the number 4. So an 8 represents the master of power. This is authority, it's manifestation, it's karma. One thing that goes in big with people that are a life path 8. Okay, calm down. These cards are all everywhere. Some of them are upside down and some of them are not, and I didn't know that, and it is what it is. That one came out Whopperjaw, so it goes up there like that. People that are a life path number 8 are usually masters of manifestation. And when I say that, what's really funny is the people that are a life path 8 usually look at me like I'm crazy when I say that you're a master at manifestation. Because you look around at your life and you don't understand why things aren't manifesting for you. Because you use that manifestation power for other people. Just like everything else, okay, just like everything else, you have a limit to how much manifestation you have in one day, to how much magic you have in one day. Before you, and I want you guys to think of it like this, okay? Like a can of soda. Like a can of pop. When you first have that can and it's unopened, you have all of it, right? You have all of it. There hasn't even been any like bubbles that escape. You have all of it. As soon as you open it, a little bit of fizz escapes, right? So you're already missing a little bit. You let just opening it up, you're missing a little bit. As you start drinking it, it starts getting less and less, right? You have used that pop. Even though, you know, you're ingesting it, you have used that pop for fuel, right? So when you get to the bottom of the can, there's no more pop until you open a new can. The same thing goes with magic. The same thing goes with all of that aspect. Every day you have a full can of pop. Every day you have a full can of magic. As soon as you open it, a little bit of that energy kind of escapes out into the universe as an offering, right? So as soon as you open up the magic, and you don't do this when you wake up, you actively do it at some point during the day. Whether it's cursing somebody that cut you off in traffic, or lighting a candle, or lighting incense, or taking a cleansing shower, or whatever it is, every single one of you chooses to open up your magic that day. And in opening up your magic on that day, a little bit goes out into the universe as an offering. And then from there, the more you use it, the more it kind of depletes. When you go to sleep, it fills back up. You have a brand new can for the next day. So if you're spending your day manifesting for other people, and then you try to manifest for you, there's nothing left to manifest for you at the end of that day. Or there's a little tiny bit. You're giving somebody else all of this, and you're leaving this much for you. And I want you guys to think about that. On a daily basis, if you're giving all of your magic away, all of your energy away, then you don't have any for you at the end of the day. So on days that you know are very magically important to you, and this is for Rose, but it's also for everybody, on days that you know are very important magically for you, such as we have a full moon coming up in just a couple of days. And then soon after that, we have 11/11 coming up. Those are the days you don't want to be manifesting for other people. Those are the days that you want to make sure that you are making sure that you're utilizing that magic for you. It's not selfish, especially if you give your magic away to everybody else all the time. So number 8s are manifestation. So the problem with it is some of what we just talked about, the misuse of your personal power, of that manifestation power. You tend to misuse it, not in a bad way, but in a way of letting everybody else have the main part of your magic, of your power, of your manifestation. And then you try to control the situation too much, because when your magic gets depleted, then the physical part steps in. And so you try to control the situation too much, and then that starts on with this obsession with material things and physical things. When you go into a phase of renewal as somebody that is a life path number 8, you have to look at it as moving into a position of sacred leadership, of not just being in control, but being able to be compassionate when you're giving commands, when you're giving, other people things to do. So some of the shadow lessons that go for those that are a life path number 8 with this are looking at I don't want to call it greed, but it gets to be a greedy aspect of when you're giving away all your magic and everything is only physical. I don't need another coffee mug, but I'm buying 5 more, like that kind of stuff. I don't need to do this, but I'm gonna because I can, like that kind of way of thinking. And then you also get into this resistance to surrender, because you're giving all your magic away, but you don't know you're giving it away. So you think that you still have a full can, right? You think that you still have, 9/10 of a can, but you don't. You only have like 1/10. And you refuse to surrender and say, you know what? Today is not the day. I will start again tomorrow with a full can. And here's the problem, is that we're taught, how many times do you guys see things that are like, never surrender, never back down, never surrender, and so on? This is why I tell you guys to read The Art of War, or listen to The Art of War, because a good leader knows when to retreat. A good leader knows which battles to sacrifice so they can win the war. A bad leader only tries to win everything. A bad leader will never ever back off and take a defeat in a battle. A bad leader ends up getting all of their people in trouble over their need to always win. I mean, let that sink in. Said what it said. But the cool thing about the number 8, that master of power, is that renewal is just getting that balance back between that leadership aspect and service. So instead of going too far out into the leadership aspect or too far out into giving all of your manifestation away to other people in service, you just need to find that balance, if that makes sense. Man, those cards are so heavy. They're so fun to just sit and hold. So let's now look at all the cards. Look at all the cards. I like that somebody put Can O Magic up there. I had to look at the weather earlier because I have this weird ass sinus headache. I feel like somebody's trying to like push my eyeball out up here. I don't like it. I don't like it. Just, you know, quick show of hands. How many other people are having severe allergy issues right now this fall? I went to look at the weather because I thought it has to be. We've been under a frost warning here like the last 4 nights in a row. So I thought, okay, we have to have rain coming in. Nope. It's going to be almost 80 this week here. It starts to get into the 70s tomorrow and goes up to 78 on Thursday. And that is dumb. And that, my friends, is dumb. Is dumb. I have sweaters. I just unpacked my sweaters. I want to wear my sweaters. And I can't because it's going to be fucking 78. But I digress. We're going to read for Rose because I'm just going to get irritated about that. Well, I'm going to get irritated right now because I can't even get the cards up off the desk. All right, there we go. All right, Rose. So this is the card that flung out while I was shuffling, and this is the universe. Very shiny cards, but it's upside down. So this is the shadow aspect. And then you have portal, and it's upside down as well. I realize that these are super shiny cards. I have different lighting for tomorrow. I can't wait. All right. That is the portal. Girl, your shadow trait is to try and take on every single thing for everybody else in the entire universe. You send everybody else through the portal to where they should be, where they want to go, and you forget to allow yourself to go through. You forget to hold the portal open for yourself. You are definitely that leader that will give everybody underneath you everything. You are that parent that you will give your kids everything to eat and not eat anything for yourself. You are that person that would give every bit of money you had, every bit of clothing you had, whatever it is you had, you would give it just to make sure that somebody else is okay without even paying attention that you have to also be okay. Ask body is on the light side down here, upside down. And chaos. I love the chaos card. It's really, really cool. It's really hard to see. I'll see if I can show you guys. There's a lady on it that, yeah, it's very hard to see. There you go. You can see her face. She's got like, stuff circling her eyeballs. I wanted to turn those over before I spoke too much about the shadow aspect. Because I found it interesting that your shadow aspect has the universe upside down and has the portal. I kind of feel like your light and dark, your light and shadow have been flipped. I feel like they're like this. The light part of you should be the one that is holding the portal open for everybody else. And the dark part of you should be the part that is that chaos aspect. But the chaos aspect should not be causing problems. You should not have the ask body card there. I feel like everything is jumbled and discombobulated, like it's weird. These two should be like this. The chaos should be the shadow, and the ask body should be right side up. The portal should be the light, and the universe should be right side up, but they're not. I feel like there's something else that's not being seen. So this is the dream card. I'll try to hold it up. It's really, really pretty. Really cool card. But it's got like this crazy big eagle carrying Saturn and all kinds of stuff on it. Out of curiosity, Rose, what are your dreams like lately? Are they non-existent, like you're only seeing or remembering just ink, just blackness when you come back? Or are they very, very, very vivid? Or are you having night terrors, nightmares, or all the above? The reason that I ask that is because the dream card coming up with those things being so discombobulated makes me feel like, and there's a number 113 which tells me that that's confirmation, makes me feel like you've been traveling in dreams and you've caught the attention of something. Sleep paralysis demons are wonderful things from the astral. When we go there too much, we ping their interest. When we go there too much, they get all excited because we can go back and forth. They want to go back and forth. We can go back and forth. Profound dreams, no negatives or nightmares, traveling a lot, sanctuaries. Okay. So sleep paralysis demons, we're going to talk about that for just a minute. If they realize feels balanced and safe, okay. Something is upside down. Something is upside down. And for the dream card to show up, and you say that you don't have any problems in your dreams right now, you don't have nightmares or anything like that, my advice is going to be to ask while you're there what's going on. Why is your shadow and your light flipped? Why are they upside down? This is the trust card, and it has an angel on it. I know it's a little hard to see. The statue of an angel. And then the death card, and I'm going to see if I can show you guys this one. It is a sword with skulls on it, and then when you look like this, you see the skulls on the side. Like, it's a really, really wicked cool card. My interpretation of that is that you're going through a really intense rebirth or about to go through a very intense rebirth. The death card always represents change and shifting and moving and rebirth. I think that's why things have been so upside down. So I would ask in your dreams, the beings that are there with you, I would ask them, what is this rebirth? What is going on? What is this rebirth? There's a lot of wings in these cards as well. I just want you to know on either side of the portal are statues with wings. Then you have the eagle with the wings outspread, and then on the trust card is the angel with the wings. So that's a lot of movement, but that's also a lot of wings. And I would say to look for the beings there that are showing you that they have wings. I have another question too, because it's interesting. As I've been doing these for everybody else, I've been seeing other things, ancestral messages, etc., but I'm not seeing that for you. Are you not having clear communication with ancestors, or are they there but silent? I don't know what's going on there. I do keep seeing concrete angels. What's up, Lando? I do keep seeing concrete angels. I do keep seeing they're there but quieter than usual. Okay. Next time you go, hopefully tonight, because that'd be great for you to be able to go tonight and get some answers tonight and fix it on the full moon. My advice is going to be to speak to the concrete angel, because I keep seeing, the only thing I keep seeing is a big concrete angel, and it's so dark that it's like a really, really dark gray. Does that make sense? A really dark gray. Not in a bad way or anything like that. It's just a really, really dark gray. The higher perspective card, and of course it has wings on it. Because why wouldn't it have wings on it? The thread, which has a sword down the middle. You can't make this shit up. This is the hearth card. And let me see if I can show it to you. The guy on here, the statue on here, has wings. I would say, I didn't mean to smack the microphone there. I would say that you have a guardian angel that is stepping in. You have a really intense, really strong guardian angel that is stepping in right now. Something has happened to shift your shadow and your light, and that's why you feel like everything is discombobulated, everything is out of balance, everything is out of focus, like you can't figure anything out. It's why you feel off, and you can't explain why you feel off, because dreams are fine. Everything is really just fine. You know what I mean? But it feels off at the same time. I think that there's a massive rebirth coming, and that's kind of why everything has just been fine. Because I'd be willing to bet it hasn't been like outlandishly fantastic, but it hasn't been bad either. It's just been good, just fine. I also find it interesting that you chose the number 4, and there are 4 cards with wings on them. You chose the number 4, and there are 4 skulls on the rebirth card. When you go, in your dreams, what we were kind of just talking about, you know, seeing seeing ancestors and stuff, but they're a lot quieter, and that everything feels safe and supportive and so on. When you go, I'm curious, when you're there, is it really bright or is it more muted colors? Because that will tell me if you're in the upper realms when you go, or if you're in the middle realms when you go. If they're really bright, if everything is really bright, like almost hurts your eyes, kind of bright, you're in the upper realms. If everything is very lush and beautiful and garden-esque and it just looks like peace and calm, then you're in the upper realms. If everything is bright but muted, you know what I mean? So not like bright sunlight in your face, but like indirect through a window. Sparkling, vivid depths of color. Okay, you're in the upper. You're in the upper. Okay. Okay. I think that my opinion is going to be, because I just keep seeing the angel symbolism and knowing that you're up in very, very vivid colors, my opinion is going to be that you have a very high level guardian angel that is pulling you out of a situation. A very high level guardian angel would be one that either is an archangel or is right under an archangel, and under direct guidance of an archangel to pull you out of things. That's also why the ancestors, when you see them in these dreams, it's also why they're quieter, because they're also waiting for instruction basically from this guardian angel. I think that you have something, whatever you want us to say. I think that they're pulling you out of the way. I feel like you have had a lot of really hard times, rebirths that were so hard and so intense that you wondered what the hell you did to have those things happen. And I think that when those things have happened, it's almost like you paid it forward, right? You did all of those heavy ass hard things then, and now your guardian angel is like, look, sugar, you did all of this crazy stuff before, and now I'm going to help you out over here. So what I love about this is they're kind of pulling you to the side, and that's why everything is great right now. It's good, it's calm, you know, there's not really a lot bad going on that can't be fixed really easy. But I would not be surprised if there are people around you that maybe you have recently stopped talking to, you don't hang around them as much, or you have just kind of broken contact, not because of a fight or anything like that, just because of life, right? I would not be surprised if people that used to be very close to you are fixing to go through a massive, like, meltdown, crash out, crazy time, and if you had still been in contact with them, you would have got drug into it. I think that everything feels kind of stagnant, but not in a bad way for you right now, because that guardian angel has kind of like just been like, and I'm just going to put you over here. I'm just going to put you over here where you be safe. Does that make sense? Like, I feel like it's just like, you've been wondering if you're prepping or being prepped. Okay. I wouldn't say that. I would say that you're just, whoever this guardian angel is, dude, you can look at them and see what color they show. Every archangel has a specific color that they're associated with. And anybody underneath them will be associated with that color as well. So if you see that color, like if they're all in red, or they're all in purple, or they're all in gold, or whatever, you can come back and be like, archangel associated with blah, blah, blah. And you can immediately find out who it is. But I think that they're just like pulling you to the side over here to keep you away from whatever the fuck is fixing to happen with these people that would have sucked you right into it. I think that this is all protection. I do find it interesting that I can't get any kind of message ancestrally for you. And I think that it's kind of interesting that I can't even, I mean, you know, the rebirth and the trust card right here. The trust card is the big one. The trust card is the big one for me right here. Trust the process. Trust the process. I don't feel anything bad. I don't feel anything negative. I don't feel anything that you should be worried about. I think that this is just protection. I do. I think that this is just protection. I think that you already went through so much really hard shit, and I think that you have done, I really feel like it was a lot of things, but one thing in particular caught the good graces of someone, and that is why it's like, nope, we're just going to pull her over here, and we're going to make sure that Rose is safe, and that's what's happening. I think that you're being divinely protected right now. I really and truly do, Rose. I think that whatever it is that you did, and I keep getting the number 2 and 3, so I don't know if this was 2 and 3 months ago or 2 and 3 years ago, but whatever it is that you did, you really caught the good graces of someone very high level, and they have just kind of pulled you to the side. So yeah, I don't see anything bad at all, my friend. I really don't. There's too much protection right here. There's way too much protection right here. Way too much protection. I will say we did talk a little bit about keeping your magic with you. Don't be giving too much of it away. I feel like you're going to kind of need to be utilizing it for you. Use half of it a day for you, okay? And you can use the other half however you want. But the first half of it is yours. The first half of it is just Rose's, and that's it. Nobody else gets the first half of that magic when you open that can. Okay? Promise, 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 promise. Promise me. Because I think that that is going to make a big difference. But yeah, my friend, I think that right now you're divinely protected. Divinely protected. I think anybody that would try to do anything to cause problems is really going to face some interesting flashback from somebody very high level. So yeah, I wouldn't really stress about it. I mean, obviously, take care of you. Obviously, you know, if you're feeling sick, go to the doctor. But yeah. I would say you're good to go, my friend. I would say you're good to go, my friend. Just saying. Just saying. And I'm glad that could give you a little bit of calm, peace about it. I'm glad. Aw, thank you, Lando. What's up? Did I see that it was your birthday? Did I see that it was your birthday? Well, happy birthday, my friend. And you got gifted an extra hour of sleep. I always love fallback. I want that extra hour of sleep, man. I want that extra hour of sleep. All right. Jade is next, yes? Yes. I know you've been going through a lot. I know you've been going through a lot, my friend. I know. Let's see. Where am I at? Where am I at? Hang on. Where's Jade? There she is. Fix all of that. Okay. There's Jade. I find it funny that you chose the number 3 and your life path is also a number 3, Jade. I find that fun there. All right. So we're going to read the number 3 on here. As I'm drawing cards for you. 3 is the voice of creation. I know that I read this for Aiden first, because Aiden picked the number 3. But the voice of creation is expression. It's communication, it's manifestation. The problem with the shadow part of the number 3, come on, comes when you're speaking through confusion, self-doubt, things like that. And when you speak through self-doubt, when you have that whole aspect of imposter syndrome or doubting that you can really do something, when you have that aspect, then you end up not speaking at all. You end up just stopping. You end up not continuing to move forward like you need to. Really. Okay, that's a lot of cards there, Jade. That's a lot of cards. There's 11. I find that interesting. When it comes to the number 3 as being the voice of creation, you need to keep in mind that the veil itself is silence. And I know we talked about this before. Toward the beginning of these reads. The veil itself is silence. It's the power before something is spoken. It's where creation is born. It's where things start. It's pre-start. It's the energy to make the start. Does that make sense? So a lot of times the shadow lessons that go along with the number 3, especially in these readings right here, is having your focus be scattered. Having, it's like picked up and go and just thrown everywhere. And masking the truth. Sometimes our focus gets so shattered and so just moved everywhere that it masks the truth that we're trying to see. The way that you can renew yourself with this type of creation aspect is speaking authentically light after you've been in that shadow aspect, after there's been the silence, after you've been sitting in that veil silence with the shadow for a while. And I've got the hiccups. And speaking authentically in the light is speaking your own truth. Speaking good things into the universe. Speaking good things about yourself. Just speaking something authentically good out into the universe. And sometimes that is the hardest possible thing to do, because we are all really, really good at speaking negatively about ourselves. We're all really good about speaking negatively about other people. But ourselves first. We are our own worst enemy. So I'm just thinking, you being able to sit with yourself and just think about good things about you. Think about good things that you have done. Jade, I think that you're going to find that there's a lot of aspects of you that are phenomenal, that are fantastic, that you don't give yourself credit for. So I'm curious to see the shadow part of you here. And of course you have 3 cards. Because why wouldn't you have 3 cards right there? Movement is the first one. Let me put this back down so I can see you guys up there again. And the revolutionary is the next one. That's what I thought it said. Then you have the mundane. I didn't realize that this was a card in this deck. Then you have mundane. So the shadow aspect you're dealing with right now with this veil moment is you're used to doing these huge things. You're used to doing these amazing revolutionary changes. You're used to movement. You're used to being driven. You're just used to so many things. But the problem is something has just put a dampener on it. And now every single thing, all the big, huge things that you want to do, that in your mind are going to be this glorious big thing, they're just mundane. They're just, like somebody has just put a glass case over the top of them. They're still big, they're still pretty to look at, but they don't go beyond that glass case anymore. They just are stuck. And I think that aspect of you, especially with your own shadow, is making it where you can't have these revolutionary movements anymore. You just feel stuck like Chuck, and it's driving you up the wall. The other thing that I want to say about this, well, you know what? I'm going to reserve judgment on why the mundane is there. I keep seeing this really thick band of like almost navy blue, but not quite navy blue, and then red underneath it. And I'm just going to continue to hit the microphone. I'm sorry. We're going to start doing ASMR. Not really. We're going to do the chair squeak. That's what we're going to do. All right, let me look at the light. I'm gonna reserve judgment on why the mundane is happening. But again, the big block of that almost navy blue, but not quite that dark yet, and then red underneath it. I don't know what that means. On the light, you have strength, and then you have ebb. I know y'all probably can't see it, but in the middle of the ebb card, there's an eyeball. Can you see it? These are really hard cards to show. But this is an interesting card because either way you turn it is right side up. Because it has ebb, right side up, and upside down. I'm sorry, the 80s kid in me. The 80s kid in me loves that. Sorry. All right, focus. When it comes to the light, when it comes to everything that you're doing, you have become, I also want to point out that there's a full moon right there. You have become such an agent of strength in your own life and in other people's lives. And sometimes when we hear that, we go, oh, I am not, I am, and we start naming all of the ways that we're way weaker than other people we know. We start naming all of the ways that, we just start naming all the ways that we're not good enough. We become an agent of strength. And I think that's what's happened. You've become an agent of strength. And so you are that ebb and flow. You are that back and forth. You are that rock in the middle of all of that. And I think that you don't realize it. You don't realize that you have rooted yourself in the ground. You don't realize it, that you have become that agent of strength because you are so used to feeling the waves against you. You think you're just going with the flow. You're just going with the waves, but you're not. The waves are going with you. And I want you to let that sink in for a minute, Jade, because I think that here lately you've been wondering why you can't just go with the flow. Because there is no flow to go with. The flow is going with you. I still don't understand the mundane up there. My thoughts on it after seeing these cards for the light, my thoughts on the mundane aspect is that there is something specific with you that until you realize that you are the strength, that you are that foundation, that you are that agent of strength, that there is nothing that is going to pull that glass top off of that revolutionary movement that you need again, that you crave again. I think until you realize how strong you've actually become, there's no way that that glass case is going to get removed. If that makes sense, Jade. I want to look at this real quick. It's interesting because I put this down, and then I drew more cards, and then I put a third card down right here. So you have creation. And then you have the dagger card, and the dagger, oh wow, this one's showing up very nicely. The dagger is interesting because it has a horse on it. Creation has a lion. And then the other one that came out is trust. Wish that these would show a little better. And I wish I wouldn't drop them. Like, that would be really, really great fun. Jade, you're at a crossroads right now. A very interesting crossroads. Because a lot of times we end up at a crossroads that have, we entered through one road and now there's 279 roads in front of us. But that's not the case with you. A big old doggy yawns. That's not the case with you. You entered through one road, and there are 3 roads. Left, right, straight ahead. And I think that when confronted with only 3 choices, there's a number 3 again. I think when confronted with only 3 choices instead of a bazillion choices, or an unknown number of choices, or even 10 choices, you only have 3 that you can choose from. And I think that also has you at a stagnant point, because you are wondering where the other choices are, when the other shoe's gonna drop. And sometimes, Jade, things are just as simple as that. They are just as simple as they are. A lot of times we make the world too complicated. I'm not saying the world is not complicated, because it is. It is. But sometimes it's really the simplest answer. Sometimes it's really the simplest path forward. But we make it so damn complicated that it's not even funny. And I think that that's what's happening right now, Jade. You have to just realize that you are the agent of strength. You have become an agent of strength. And that there is no ebb and flow right now, because you don't have to go with the ebb and flow, because you are that. It's going with you. And so you being an agent of strength and rooting yourself in the ground somewhere is fantastic when there's a storm. But right now there's not a storm. And so you're holding yourself anchored to the ground when you don't need to be. And I think when you realize that, and when you kind of let go a little bit, when you kind of pull those roots up a little bit and just float, and you control where the tide is taking you, that's when that glass will come up, and all that revolutionary craziness and that movement that you used to have and love so much, all of that is going to come back. And I think with this creation and the dagger and the trust and so on, there is something specific with you that means, instead of seeing that there are 3 choices ahead of you, 3 roads you can take, you're forcing yourself to stop because you feel like there is something hidden there. There's hidden roads that you got to be aware of. And that's not it at all. That's not it at all, Jade. That's not it at all. You have the Get Wild card. You have all the cards over here. You have the Reflect. You have the Ether card upside down. And you have the Rebirth card right side up. Apparently, you've been sitting here while you're listening to this thinking that you need an answer. You need a very clear answer of what you got to do to fix it. So here's your very clear answer on what you got to do to fix it. Take a stroll down memory lane. Take a stroll down memory lane, Jade. Go look through your phone or your Facebook or your Instagram or photos or whatever of times when you felt free, when you felt wild, when you felt fun, when you felt that Get Wild card right there with the reflect. That is an invitation for you to look at all of those times when you felt like everything was awesome. We've all had those times in our life. Whether it was when you were 6, 16, 67, 32, hike, no matter what age it was, there was a time when you felt awesome, when you felt like nothing could change, nothing could shift you from what you were doing. Go back and look at those wild times, and look at photos if you can. And if not, sit and think about, oh man, this one time I was out with my friends and we went here and we saw this and we did this and we ended up at Waffle House at 4:45 in the morning. And you know what I mean? Like, think about those times, that was wild times that you probably shouldn't tell your mom about. Think about those. Because right now, that Ether card being upside down tells me that it's almost like you're stuck in the goo, right? I mean, we talked about being too rooted, being stuck right there. It's almost like you're stuck in the goo. Ether is an interesting thing because ether is part of that extra element. You're going to hear when you go through the magical world about the fifth element, which is spirit. You're also going to hear it called ether. That fifth element is interesting. Just like Zeus continually licking. So just think about it. It's interesting in that it's always there and never there at the same time. It's always there and never there at the same time. I think that all of this, why I'm seeing the blue and the red again, I don't know. All of this leads to this aha moment for you. All of it leads to this aha moment for you. Simplify things down, Jade, because right now you're making them more complicated than they need to be. There are only 3 roads. There are not 59 or more. There are only 3. All you got to do is pick one. And I'm going to tell you a secret. It doesn't matter which one you pick. Pick the one that makes Jade happy. The reason I say it doesn't matter which one you pick is because all 3 of those roads are going to lead you to a place you want to be. So pick the one that makes you happy. Go read the Robert Frost poem. Whose woods these are, I think I know. His house is in the village, though. He will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. Just saying. Just saying. I think it's time for you to have that rebirth moment, Jade. It's time. So, those are my 4 from Samhain. Those of you guys that have Veilwalker reads, I will get you guys finished over the next few days. I'm going to get my schedule done for the next few days. I've got to be in Oklahoma City this weekend. I'm really excited about that. I will be doing my Sunday sermon live from Craig's Emporium. And yeah. But with that, I'm going to let you guys go for the evening. And I want you guys to go get some sleep. Go have an amazing evening. I know normally I'm on for hours and hours and hours, but I've been live 3 times today. It's been a long day. It's been a long day of me doing this. Yeah. So I'll see you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Don't forget, tomorrow is Reiki and Zodiacs. Tomorrow is also 113, the lucky day. It is 113. And it is the day before a full moon. So tomorrow's Reiki and Zodiacs will be the full moon edition. Just saying what I'm saying. All right, guys.